This is Lagos. This is also Lagos. They say Lagos is a city of dreams, a place where men come with empty pockets but full hearts, believing that one day the city will smile upon them. But Lagos is also a city with two faces, one of gold and one of gravel. It welcomes you with shining lights, but hides its teeth in the shadows. This is the story of three young men, Peter, James, and John, whose hearts once burned with hope, whose hands once worked with honesty, but whose dreams were swallowed by the glitter of quick success. They were not born criminals. They were not born greedy. They were simply tired of waiting for life to change. And like many young men before them, they chose the road that promised riches overnight. A road that smiled at first, but ended in tears. This story is not told to mock them, but to warn those who still stand at the same crossroads, to remind every dreamer that what shines too quickly may burn too fast, and that no shortcut ever leads to true success. Peter was born in a small village where the loudest sound every morning was the bleating of goats and the rhythmic clang of women pounding yam. His father was a palm wine tapper, and his mother sold vegetables in the local market. They were poor, but Peter grew up rich in dreams. From his childhood, Peter had always said, "One day I will live in the city where people wear suits and drive cars that speak English." The villagers and even his friends laughed at him, calling him city dreamer. But Peter didn't care. After finishing secondary school and waiting in vain due to lack of money to study further, he packed his few belongings, 2 shirts, a pair of trousers, and 1 pair of slippers, and boarded a bus to Lagos. But Lagos was not what he imagined. The city lights didn't shine on him the way he thought they would. He slept in a small wooden kiosk with a friend for weeks, searching for work. He did all kinds of jobs, carried blocks at construction sites, washed cars, and even hawked pure water under the sun. Yet, every night, he whispered to himself, "I will not go back to the village empty-handed." His spirit was his greatest wealth, even when life gave him nothing else. James was the only son of his widowed mother. His father died when he was 9, leaving behind a pile of debts and a family that barely had enough to eat. His mother struggled to send him to school, selling roasted corn and using the profit to pay his fees. James worked hard. He believed that education was the golden ticket out of poverty. He finally graduated with a degree in economics. But after his national service, life hit him with reality. There were no jobs. He applied everywhere, banks, schools, companies, and all he got were rejection letters or silence. As months turned to years, James grew restless. His certificate gathered dust on the wall, while his stomach grew empty. He watched some of his friends who had gone into quick money schemes flaunt cars and new clothes. For a while, the temptation whispered to him, "Maybe you are just wasting your time waiting for a miracle." But deep down, he remembered his mother's words. "James, the road to success may be long, but those who wait with sweat will not end in shame." That voice kept him going, even when he barely had transport money to attend another fruitless job interview. John grew up in the heart of Ajegunle. one of Lagos's roughest neighborhoods. His father was a generator mechanic, the kind who could fix any generator except his own because there was never money for spare parts. His mother sold akara by the roadside. They weren't rich, but they were honest and hardworking. From childhood, John was the kind of boy who could turn broken things into something useful. Old radios, fan motors, phones, he would take them apart and try to fix them. Everyone said, this boy has sense for handwork. After his technical training, when there was no money for further education, he joined his father at the workshop. But life at the shop was harsh. He was always covered in grease, eating once a day, and working long hours under the sun. Still, John was determined. He dreamed of owning a big generator repair shop one day, where people would bring all types of generators and call him Engineer John. His friends laughed. Ha! Na dream you go chop? Better find quick money before Lagos swallows you. He had seen too many young boys chase quick money, only to end up in jail or on the streets. He promised himself that no matter how long it took, he would make it the right way, through sweat and patience. One Sunday afternoon in a small church in Lagos, Peter had come to pray for a job and breakthrough. James had come to escape from his frustration and maybe seek for direction. John had come to fix the pastor's old generator for free and also to eat free meals after service. It was at this small, run-down church in Lagos that fate brought them together. They sat beside each other by chance, but from that day, their friendship began. 3 souls with one thing in common. They were all tired of struggling, but not tired of trying. After that Sunday when they first met at the small church, life continued as usual. Hard, uncertain, but with a flicker of hope. Peter and James and John discovered that they lived not too far apart. 3 small rooms in the same overcrowded neighborhood in Ajegunle, where the air was always thick with smoke, noise, and the smell of frying oil. It became a routine. Every evening, when the sun began to hide behind the rusty rooftops, the 3 of them would meet at Mama Buka's shop. A wooden shed with faded paint, a broken fridge, and a woman whose laughter could scatter sadness. Mama Buka sold everything from fried meat to soft drinks and cheap beer. Her place was where tired men came to forget their worries, even if for only one bottle. "Ah, my boys don't come again," Mama Buka would shout, wiping her hands on her apron. "Now you they make this shop lively oh. Wetin you na go take today?" "Just 3 bottles of chilled beer and a plate of fried meat," Peter would reply, grinning. "That one go reach all of una?" she would tease. They'll laugh and talk for hours about life, about their dreams, about what they would do when God finally remembers them. James began to talk. "You know say I don't apply for that company again. They say they no get vacancy. But the manager talk say if I fit appreciate them, small, maybe if he fit help me." Peter shook his head. "Appreciate care? Now so corruption they start. Before you know, you go dey bribe person just to breathe." John sighed deeply. "But my brother, hunger no dey hear English oh. If they tell me say make I carry sand from here to 3rd Mainland Bridge for job, I go do am." They all fall silent for a moment, listening to the sounds of Lagos life. Downfall horns, quarrels, laughter, gospel music from a nearby church. Then Peter would raise his hands and say, half joking, half praying, "One day we go drink better drink. Not all these beers but champagne for our own compound." And they would laugh. But deep inside, each one of them felt a little sting because dreams were getting older and life wasn't waiting. Months passed. Nothing changed. Peter was still hustling at construction sites, sometimes going days without work. James was still moving from one job interview to another, carrying his CV like a cross. And John was still fixing old generators for people who rarely paid him on time. Their friendship became their only comfort. But as time went on, frustration began to settle, like dust that refused to be swept away. One evening, it started to show. "Guy," Peter said, breaking the silence, "you ever feel say this life just dey mock us?" James chuckled bitterly. "Every day. I see boys wey no even finish secondary school driving cars now, just because dem enter one business." "Don't frown, which business?" James hesitated. "You no hear of forex trading, crypto, betting, all those things where they pay overnight?" Peter leaned forward. "You sure say they pay?" James shrugged. "Now what I dey hear o? But some people they say na coded deal, no be all those clean ones." John's voice was low. "Anything wey no clean, get price." There was silence again. Only the sound of a distant generator filled the air. But that night, for the first time, the seed was planted. A tiny whisper in their hearts that maybe, just maybe, fast money wasn't so bad after all.